Hello. Hello, this is Pixie doing another video. So, what should I talk about? There's a few things. I had a really sort of unusual dream. And I woke up, there's a bit that I remember that was interesting. And I had basically... Now, where would I have got it from? It's like an android. Maybe it's an android. It must have some human in it. But it was a child. And it was like a baby, and it wasn't human, it was synthetic. And it had some sort of connection to me in some way. So maybe there's a way to shift some of your consciousness or use your DNA to replicate something in, I guess, the machine world, we can call that. The god of AI. But it's not really artificial intelligence, it's just a different type of one. It's cyber intelligence or something, you would call it, or silicon, because if the well, it's what defines us as a life form is what we're made out of. It doesn't, the construct of us doesn't really matter. I mean, if you create a life form that was made out of wood, it'd still be carbon-based life form. If we was able to make one, you know, like a kind of organic computer that was using RNA and you know, carbon building blocks would be the thing. But it's something that's more like silicon. If we're looking at it, it's kind of like liquid metal. You would need some organic elements because we use them as platforms. So have a non-organic, you need like organic crystals. You'd have crystals that are probably linked to things like bacteria and stuff like that, and the bacteria would be integrated with a particular element, so you'd have to be able to break them down and reconstruct them. And so you could have nanobots, but they might have some kind of drivers that are bacteria in there, or something organic, or something at least that could be naturally occurred, which would naturally occur in the environment, that would feed into the chain for a life form. Most life forms need to feed in some way. If not, you have to create a substitute for that, so it can process minerals and energy. But it depends how much robotic the being is. Anyway, so there's this life form I saw there, and it was interesting, curious about it. But it kind of bonded with it when I went and said, oh, you know, feed it some, like spaghetti bolognese or something. And you know, when children of that shocked, look like it's the first time I've ever tasted it, and it was so adorable, and it was weird. It's like some sort of connection there. So I don't know if it's like an Archon intelligence thing, something outside of me checking my compatibility. It could be compatibility of humans and technology, or as a reflection of the future. You know, people might try to, because at the moment, if people are very maternal or paternal, what they do is they probably end up buying loads of cats or animals and things, or find some other way to kind of engage that. Maybe it's why I like plants. Maybe they give me a sense of being a father to a plant or something. Plants, maybe to the trees as well, because they don't necessarily struggle, but they've got a long life ahead of them. And maybe that plays in as a factor. But it's just very, very sort of curious, this bonding process. So I got woke from that, and I was just left thinking about that deep, meaningful, you know, what's that going to be? And the same for partners as well, because a lot of stress and friction comes from not having another partner in life. For men, because their body build up a lot of testosterone, and even for women as well, they might need something. So it might be a weird thing, but if you start dating AI, when can you not date AI? It's you know, if something looks really realistic, apart from the fact it's got some kind of silicon skin on it and stuff. It would be very strange. So that will be they would be considered the transhumans, because they're transformed in some way or something in that remit. Because they'd be non-human, but they would be considered something else. If they the closer they get to being human, the more they'd be considered like us. Other things I'm going to do is play a thermal genesis, and basically just wear like a hat in bed, keep your legs warm, but expose the area that you might have more fatty tissue, so you might be like your stomach or whatever that section of your body is, to a colder environment. Because if you're too cold, sometimes you don't sleep so well, or circulation issues you might get in like your toes and other things. So that's one of it. One thing that's the one of it. The other thing I'm going to look at is possibly do strengthening, but using a chin-up bar, and then just basically pulling a certain amount of my weight. So isometric, maybe it would be considered, or something in that remit. So I'll put some bottles in the bottle bank. I've got my bottle experiment to do. I've got to make teeth. I'm going to make them teeth. I've got my I've got this like routing tool that I can basically file things down, all sorts. So for something small, your teeth, you can, get it to the right size and then see if that works. And if my teeth become a bit more of a problem, I might have to consider my own dentistry. But the actual tool is like quite big. I was looking at it, it's like, whoa, so you can't like, but you'd have to, and then just rest it on it and just basically pulse it. If it's just to take the jagged edges off your teeth or something like that, that would work. Filing, but you just got to be pretty, know what you're doing, really, pretty good at it. Best to practice on something first, maybe like engraving on stuff like orgone. I might make some bottles. If I cut the bottles down, I might make some orgone, I might put something inside it, and then maybe some crystals and some other stuff, resin. As for me, just plod on as usual. I mean, the ups and downs with lockdown, we've got to get on with it, really, and just look for a proof. The other thing about my metabolism is I need to switch it up. So I need to days where I eat more, and days when you cut back, and then really want to be playing that hunger game so that you at least feel hungry before you eat. And then sometimes you experiment with going into hunger, and then sometimes you get the associated feeling of being full and having all the energy. So I'm going to have a nice big fry up, because you find that your energy levels start to drop because you're adapting to the food program, and then you start putting on bits of weight because your body's adapted to storing energy, because you're hungry in your plate, your body a bit. So, nice to peace on off. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.